Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Xen Sams. Up in just a few minutes in our Millennial Mom segment brought to us by Hi There, we are featuring Nikki Giavassis. She's an American actress, entrepreneur, author, and a mega influencer. Today, we are chatting relationships and the red flags and the signs that you need to be aware of if you are under the impression that you are dating, that's right, a narcissist, and more importantly, how to get out. So, individuals who have a narcissistic personality disorder, otherwise known as NPD, which I'm going to refer to often in this interview, believe they are superior and unique compared to others. Signs you could be dating an individual with NPD include the fact that they have very few or no friends, lack empathy, and often gaslight you. When someone posts one too many selfies on their social media or talks about themselves constantly during a first date, you might call them a narcissist. But a true narcissist is someone who has narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. And individuals with NPD believe that they are superior and unique compared to others, and they expect to be recognized and treated as such. Now, they are often unable to recognize the opinions and needs of you and me and are very dismissive of others' problems. And here to chat some more is my amazing friend, fellow mom, influencer with over 1 million followers. She's a certified hypnotherapist. She's an ordained minister. She's also a Reiki master. That's right. And the creator of Goddess Girls. Welcome back, my awesome friend, Nikki. You are stunning.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. All right, Nikki, what makes you the narcissist detector?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've had the unfortunate ability to attract more than one narcissist. So I've become a bit of an expert over time in my long-term relationships. Most of them turned out to be with narcissists.
And talk to me. Well, let's go back. So, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which is otherwise known as DSM 5, lists 9 criteria for NPD, but it specifies that someone only needs to meet 5 of them to clinically qualify as a narcissist. So, I'm going to list them, and I want you to tell me your red flags and why. Are you ready? All right. So I'm going to go through a whole bunch of them in a row, and then you're going to help me dissect them. So, grandiose sense of self-importance. I know that you have dealt with this firsthand. Talk to me about this.
Oh my goodness. It's like a blueprint because the world revolves around them, and so it's all about meeting their needs. It's like they think that the world is spinning around their axis. So you have to adjust yourself to constantly please them and constantly also be berated for not living up to the expectations of that grandiose, better than the world personality.
Oh, 100%. Okay, well, you know what? That makes total sense to me. How about preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love? Have you had any experience with this?
Oh my God. I think you're describing the last narcissist to the T. I've had this every single word.
And tell me, the belief they're special and unique and that they can only be understood by or should associate with other special people or high status people or institutions. Talk to me about this one.
This is crazy. Wow. This is literally word for word what I dealt with. It's like they think that they have like this special privilege that they came to this earth and they're gracing everybody with, this unique gift that they have and only they have.
And so you've dated this man before.
Yeah.
The need for excessive admiration, the sense of entitlement, interpersonally exploitative behavior, lack of empathy, envy of others, or a belief that others are envious of them, the demonstration of arrogant and these haughty behaviors or attitudes. Talk to me about some of the real life experiences that you felt diminished while dating a narcissist.
Oh my goodness. Well, with my most recent one, I'll call him Narcissist D. Uh, I mean, it gets to a D level because it's like at a certain point, the things that matter the most are not what matter to a narcissist. They're worried about elevation and access and status. So they go after people that might give that to them. So they will go after someone who might have power, prestige, or whatever they want. But at the same time, they resent you for having it because they don't. So they'll try to break you down behind closed doors because they want you to feel inferior to them. And that's where the gaslighting begins.
And true, and what it boils down to is selfishness at the expense of others, really, plus this inability to consider others' feelings at all. But a person's aggression typically indicates the severity of the disorder. So, uh, as a woman, talk to me about some of the most rock bottom moments in a relationship that diminished you as a woman. Are there any real life things that you could share with us?
Gosh. Rock bottom. Um, this is giving me chills because you don't even realize how bad it is when you're in the midst of it. It's like you're in this ongoing drama. It's like you're in a living hell. So I was with a person. I kept trying to leave him. I kept taking him back because it takes 6 times to leave. So he broke into my voicemail and he heard a police officer that was trying to help me escape. I had already rented another place. I sent him out of town so I could move out. And it was like such an ordeal. He was waiting outside for me because he listened. And I was like at my new place, which was supposed to be my getaway place to start over. And he chased me down and hit me with a car, and he just rammed me and like literally collided into me with a huge SUV.
Oh my goodness, Nikki, that's terrible. I hope this person is in jail.
That was another thing. Like he would be in, they would get slap on the wrist, in and out of jail. If I got restraining orders, they really didn't matter. It was like, unless they kill you, I mean, it's like, you know, you're getting put into the system, but you're not really preventing any abuse.
It's so true. And women like you who are now strong, strong entrepreneurs and strong, strong symbols of what being a woman truly means at the core of it all. As an influencer and an author and an entrepreneur on social media, you are now empowered, but you went through these very diminishing moments with somebody that tried to make you feel like you weren't worthy. Um, they're very charming at first. How
Mhm.
did he make you feel when you first started dating him?
Oh my goodness. I could actually say that at least 2 of them are duplicates of each other because they swoop in, they want things to go really fast. They say that you're soulmates, you know, sweep you off your feet with all of this love bombing. So you're just swept off your feet and they're saying all the right things. And you don't know that they've studied you or they're mirroring you. They're taking every good quality about you and they're mirroring you. So it's like almost like you're falling in love with yourself, which is what you have to do after you get rid of them. But they literally will come in with grand gestures, all kinds of words. I've searched for you for lifetimes. They want to marry you right away. That's what they always want it with me. I don't know, but I think with most people, they want to get some kind of solid lock you down. So they've let maybe within 2 dates, they love you. It's like
It's
immediately.
terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Maybe within 2 dates they love you. So people with narcissistic personality disorder are going to try to manufacture these superficial connections, like you said early on in a relationship. Maybe they tell you how smart you are, or emphasize how compatible you are, or even if you just started seeing each other, narcissists seeing each other, they deserve to be with other people who are special, and that special people are the only ones who can appreciate them fully. So this now in turn makes you feel like you are this special soulmate of theirs. But at the end of the day, this is all manipulation at its best. So at the here's what I want to know. They hog the conversation talking about how great they are. I know that you've encountered and lived this. Tell me more about when you realized, and we have about a minute left,
Oh no.
that the guy that you were dating, and we'll cut to a commercial break,
Okay.
was in fact a narcissist. What was that one red flag?
Oh my God. One. Um, it was when he shifted from everything he portrayed himself to be to this monster and he started attacking me verbally and physically that I knew that I trapped myself with a narcissist. And my friend had warned me with a love bombing, but I didn't want to believe it. But once he got abusive mentally and physically and abused my dog, that's when I knew that
Oh
he
my
was
God.
a complete narcissist.
Oh gosh, if you could abuse the dog. I mean, you're a woman, you could defend yourself to a certain extent, but a
Mhm.
little animal with not a voice, with not any ability to fight back, that's the low of all lows. Nikki, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. This is a pleasure chatting with you. Narcissism is not something that anybody should take, lightly. And if you are in a narcissistic relationship, there's definitely plenty of sources out there to get you out. I thank you for coming on and shedding light on this topic.
I'd love to come on with you.
You guys have to check out Nikki Giovassis. Follow her on the gram at Nikki Giovassis Official or directly on her website at NikkiGiovasisOfficial.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Hi There, a creative community exploring the culture, craft, and science of cannabis. Hi There believes that we have a collective responsibility towards eradicating the stigma, misinformation, and inequities surrounding this plant so we can unlock its true potential for all. To become involved and find out what all the excitement is about, download the Hi There app from the App Store and Google Play. Hi There, HIGHTHERE.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We are continuing our conversation with the awesome Nikki Giovassis, and we're chatting all things narcissism and how to spot the red flags. This segment is brought to us by Hi There. Nikki, welcome back to the segment.
Thank you.
So let's pick this up on narcissism and the narcissists out there. Okay, so let's go back to you're on a first date. They hog the conversation. They talk about how great they are. I know for a fact that one of your narcissist boyfriends did this. Tell me more.
It's like they're listening only to say something. They're making everything spin back to being focused on them. They're the prime focus. I had the person I dated try to tell me I think we're basically equals, even though we weren't really. But he always wanted to put himself up higher in every way. So it's like everything was elevated. It was like a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of lies and deceit, to be honest, because it's like they're creating a facade and the image is not real. It's all just, it's a bunch of BS, and it's just to try to get you.
And it's interesting because you are a social media influencer. You have over 1 million followers. You've dated some very high profile men. We're not going to name who they are, but clearly a lot of these men that you've dated, these narcissists, have an inflated sense of self-importance and are prone to really exaggerating their achievements and expecting to be recognized as superior, quote unquote. And for the most part, narcissists love to constantly talk about their own accomplishments and achievements with this grandiose sense of accomplishment. But the warning is two-part, Nikki. So
Yeah.
in this situation, your partner won't stop talking about themselves, and second, your partner won't engage in conversations about you, and that's extremely important. So I always like to consider these questions on a first date. Although I am married, happily married to a wonderful man, but I would give advice to my daughters, to my stepdaughter, who I love dearly, Carly, out in Georgia, at University of Georgia. But consider these questions: what happens when you talk about yourself on this first date, or even in generally? Do they ask follow-up questions and express interest to learn more about you, or do they make it about them? Do they feed off of your accomplishments? Talk to me about your experience in this.
I think it's a little twisted because they'll listen to you, but it's like they're gathering intel. So if they're listening and asking questions, it's to find faults or weak points. They're not really listening for anything that it's like they're going to use the information later. So it's like, oh, tell me how the last person was so bad, so I won't be that like that. But that's what they'll use later. But other than that, it's all about them.
So true. So true. You're giving me chills because I know this firsthand when I was as a young model dating a lot of narcissists in my industry until I finally found my soulmate. But in this particular case, narcissists may seem like they're super self confident, but in truth, Nikki, I found that most people with narcissist personality disorder actually lack self esteem and
Yeah.
require excessive attention and admiration. They need a lot of praise. And if you're not giving it to them, they'll fish for it.
Oh yeah. That's why they have supply elsewhere, and they don't have a lot of friends. That's true, but they do triangulate people against each other. So the people that are in their lives, they'll always have you kind of like battling against the other people, supposedly because they're the victim of every person. So they're gaining sympathy because they like to attract empaths. So
Yeah. Oh,
they find a way.
empaths. Let's talk about this, the lack of empathy. So, does your partner care when you've had a bad day at work, fight with your best friend, or scuffle with your parents? Or do they get bored when you express the things making you mad and sad? This inability to empathize or even sympathize is often
Mhm.
the very reason why many, if not all, relationships of people with narcissistic personality disorder eventually collapse, whether they're romantic or not, right?
Right. I noticed that I was the the last relationship was like eroding steadily, like constantly. And I noticed that when I was sad, it was almost like it would cause anger. So I was sad because it was like near Thanksgiving. My dad's birthday was like right by Thanksgiving. My dad passed away, so I was sad, and he got so angry at me for being sad. And it still gives me chills because it's like it was all about him for his birthday, which was like a couple days prior. But then when it came down to my feelings and my emotions and my just true sadness, he was almost disgusted.
Oh
So
my
there's no
goodness.
empathy
I
whatsoever.
could totally empathize with that, although I've been fortunate to have a partner that not long ago, my father passed in 2016 from aggressive lung cancer, but my husband, Brad Feinstein, on August 23rd, made a big deal for me to make sure that, I remembered my father on this day, and it was completely reciprocated, and it was all about me. And I was emotional, and I was a not nice person that day. I was mean, I was snippy, but I was also mourning, and I had a partner that had my back, so it's important. Let's move on to they don't have any long-term friends. So it's common for people with narcissistic personality disorder to have frequent conflicts with others. Dig deeper into their connections, and you may notice they have few close friends.
Yeah.
So people with narcissism can be hypersensitive and insecure, and as a result, they might lash out when you want to hang out with other people. They might claim that you don't spend enough time with them. They make you feel guilty for spending time with your friends and berate you for the types of friends you have. Talk to me about this.
Oh my goodness. I dealt with all of this as well. It's like your family, they don't want you to be with anyone. They want to isolate you because when they isolate you, that's how they can control you. Because if you have a support system, then they're going to question why you're being treated that way and why you're accepting being treated that way, because you're almost in a state of like reality is not real anymore when you're with that kind of person, because they're so actually insecure and unhappy that they want to bring you into that world. So they'll keep trying to hurt you.
And they pick on you constantly, right? So maybe
Yeah.
at first it felt like teasing, but then it became mean. And suddenly everything you do, from what you wear and eat to who you hang out with and what you watch on TV, is a problem for them. And honestly, antagonism and hostility are well documented traits of people who have NPD, and their toll on other people is large, Nikki, very large.
Yeah. The toll is like, I think for some people you can't recover because it basically kills your soul, it kills your spirit, it kills your everything that you believe about the world, because people are supposed to be good and you're supposed to go into a loving relationship and actually share love and be protected, not be actually abused by the person. So it's almost as if your parent is abusing you. That's the person that's supposed to protect you. So it's like you're in a relationship with someone who's actually seeing you as their enemy.
It's terrible. And one of the warning signs I always say, Nikki, is that if they knock you down with insults when you do something worth celebrating, get yourself out of there.
Definitely. It's almost like they don't want to celebrate your accomplishments. They'll try to do anything to cause a problem and go back to anything that's based on them. Even if they have less to celebrate, they'll still want it to be all about them and take
Yes.
their emphasis off of you.
And what about the gaslight you? Gaslighting is a form of manipulation and emotional abuse, and it's a hallmark of narcissism. So in fact, people with narcissistic personality disorder may tell blatant lies, falsely accuse others, spin the truth, and ultimately distort your reality, essentially. But they think they're right about everything and never apologize, and that's really the hardest part.
Yeah, I don't think they can take accountability. It's very difficult for them because it's like this grandiose self-image, but also a complete inability to reflect and to have remorse.
Yes, and that's why fighting with a narcissist feels impossible.
It's like you're just spinning in circles.
Spinning in circles. So,
Right.
Nikki, how do you prepare for the breakup? So, do you have advice for women out there to prepare for this emotional disconnection of a person that at once made you feel like a queen, but now you are, strictly, a stepping stone?
I think the first thing is you have to disconnect and you have to accept reality for what it is. So you have to realize that in the beginning, the person that you want to come back was never a real person. That was a mask. And they were trying to match your vibration. They were trying to match everything about you to get you. And every time that they breadcrumb you, and they'll also withhold affection, but you're trying to get that person back that was there in the beginning. And that person's never going to be there. That person was an illusion. So as soon as you accept that and you stop entering into it's like a dance. It's like you can't go back and forth. You just have to stop. So the way that I cut it off was I just stopped fighting. I was like, you know what? Just pack your stuff. I'm the one who's wrong. I'll take the accountability since you can't, and just pack your stuff and leave. And that's what you have to do is you have to sever it and stop believing that they're going to change because they're probably going to just get worse. And you have to stop thinking that the person from the beginning is going to come back. So you have to grieve that.
I couldn't agree more. And also to add to that, I would also say constantly remind yourself that you deserve better. Go out and strengthen your relationship with your empathetic friends, right? Build a support network with friends and family who can help remind you what is reality. But you have to truly, if you don't want to get out and you want to stand the test of time with a narcissist, it's okay, but you have to urge your partner to talk with a therapist and see a therapist yourself because you're going to be at the grunt end of this emotional upheaval, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a lot. You can lose yourself. And I know the first one that I dated in LA, I was doing Billy Blank's Tybo back then. And it was like, Billy was like, we were filming and he's like, what happened to you? Like, you're gone. And it's like, I lost myself. And it was visible to other people. But once you get back into focusing on I deserve better, you get your support system around you, you start doing the things that you love, you realize that when you look back, you'll be like, I don't know why I ever put up with that. But you have to get past it first because the hardest part is breaking that trauma bond. And you're going to be bonded to them at first because they did so much to try to control you.
So true. So true. Nikki, we are out of time, but I just want to thank you so much for coming on and really just being transparent and honest about your loves and your losses and your empowerment and how you have become the mother, the grandmother, the entrepreneur, the author that you are today. So thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, you can't change a person with narcissistic personality disorder or make them happy by loving them enough or by changing yourself to meet their whims and desires. They will never be in tune with you, never empathetic to your experiences, and you will always feel empty after an interaction with them. Narcissists can't feel fulfilled in relationships or in any areas of their life because nothing is ever special enough for them. Essentially, you'll never be enough for them because they'll never be enough for themselves. And that's the bottom line. The best thing you can do is cut ties, just like Nikki said. Offer them no explanation. Break up with them and offer no second, third, or fourth chances. That's it, and that's where I end it. You have to check out Nikki Giavassis. She is amazing. Check her out on her social media at Nikki Giavassis Official, or head to her website at nikkigiavassisofficial.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.